for depriving us in many cases of the benefit of trial by jury. Have you heard of administrative law courts? These are unconstitutional courts where you are denied due process, and everyone there, including your lawyer, works for the federal government. For transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government, and enlarging its borders so as to render it once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies. What would you call declaring people enemy combatants and sending them to Guantanamo Bay? That's not only transporting us beyond the seas for pretended offenses, but establishing an arbitrary government. For taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our government. For suspending our own legislatures and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. See, unlike the colonies, the states weren't created by the federal government, but the other way around. So in Congress, the president and federal courts substitute their opinions and agenda for the Constitution that created them. They are acting unconstitutionally. You see, when the feds exercise powers not delegated to them, they are effectively taking away the state's charters and abolishing their laws. They just don't suspend our state legislatures. They effectively make them meaningless, investing themselves with the power to legislate at the state level. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. What happens when those who take an oath to support the Constitution instead violate that oath? Is that not abdicating their role as government? Is that not waging war on our rights? He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burned our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. How much damage has been done by federal policies? They prevented people from cleaning up forests, which leads to large fires, while the EPA made rules that led to poisoned rivers. These rules and regulations, none of which are law, are enforced as if they were. Does that not destroy the lives of our people? He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the work of death, desolation, and tyranny already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages and totally unworthy of the head of a civilized nation. Does this sound like importing large numbers of foreign gang members into the country to traffic in drugs, sex, and people? He has constrained our fellow citizens, taken captive on the high seas, to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. Well, they weren't taken on the high seas, neither were they forced to bear arms against their own country, but the federal government has used the draft to conscript its own citizens to fight for it. He has excited domestic insurrections among us and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers the merciless Indian savages whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. The previous administration brought in foreign inhabitants to make war against us. Not the American Indian, but the Mexican cartels.